Bastone, blimey. Well, I have finally managed to squeeze in chapter 3 of Oathsworn. Quite a late night now actually, but I have managed to get through the story mode and also the encounter mode afterwards as well, which was very good. On one of my other videos, I posted a sort of rough battle strategy or strategy for my team, my free company. And very nicely, Toby from Shadowborn Games actually commented and explained a bit better how to use the priest, particularly his Desperate Prayer card as well. So I was looking forward to trying that out in chapter 3. Aside from that, I've also decided, I'm playing it solo, to play the full modes of all 4 characters. So late Saturday night, I decided to give myself a real test, see how awake I really was and how much my brain was working, and to go with the full modes for all 4 characters now. Previously, it was just the priest and the Avi. Now, the Ursus Warbear and a Penitent playing their full hand of all their cards, just to really sort of experience their kind of their true abilities. I did this with Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion, because all the characters in that are so great. You know, you want to have that symmetry between them of playing off their powers and their cards against each other. So, going to chapter 3, all 4 players. Obviously, they're full cards. How did it go? Wow. I mean, going into the chapter, my priest had severe concussion from the last encounter, and my Avi still had the broken arm card that affects. It affects all his weapons to begin with. They all will go on cooldown. So not looking great. At the end of the last encounter, I did get a trait for my free company. I've called them the Dragon Claws, which is actually in homage to a 1980s or 1990s comic from Dark Horse. Really good comic series, absolutely love. But anyway, I've decided to pick the field medic trait so I could try and mitigate some of their injuries. And what that basically means is if I hang around in town in the city for a bit longer, I can clean up one of the injuries. So that was my plan. My plan was to spend a bit of time in the town and help the Birdman's broken arm. Didn't go to plan. Story chapter 3 story is a very different pace to the previous chapter story phase. Really different pace. Really good. Absolutely loved it. It definitely brings home how dangerous the Deepwood is, and how fragile the human settlements are, I guess, or the cities as well. And it just turned things on its head quite a bit. Really love the story mode. Really good pace. I love the previous story modes too, but they were more kind of investigation type style things, whereas this is, without giving spoilers away, it's just a very fast paced storyline. There's no hanging around at all. So, how did I get on with that? Good news and bad news. The bad news is, even before I got to the encounter, the priest has now left us. He has gone. That's not just me switching characters. That is a story route I went down. The priest, he was kind of my de facto leader of the team anyway, but he definitely led by example in this one. So the bad news is the priest has now left us. He was in a concussed state anyway, but he has now gone from the group. So I had to pick a new member to join the group there. Who did I pick? Who did I pick in the end? I like the Kerr. The Kerr looked very good. He has this sort of smoke bomb ability to let off smoke bombs in the encounters. I also like the Huntress with the Eagles. Playing late at night, I read through the rules of the Eagles, and I don't know if I was quite fresh enough to take that challenge on. But I did like the look of her. Who I went for in the end? I do like a challenge. I went for the other difficulty 4 or difficulty 5 character, the witch. What she comes with, she basically comes with, well, she can set on the board fire or water as well. And then she can use that to make spells and to cause damage, etc. So I thought that looked really cool. That it's like going forward in future chapters, I think that's going to be great fun. So I've gone for the witch. Fancy a challenge. First game playing all 4 characters full, and I've picked a pretty difficult one actually at that too. So yeah, took the witch, swapped out the priest, not by choice, and took the witch instead. And then went full on into the encounter mode. The encounter mode on the first go, I have to say, even the encounter mode for chapter 3 is very different to the previous 2. I felt it had got slightly different mechanics as well. I probably did feel like I had a few questions about how certain behaviours would work in chapter 3 encounter mode. And I do wonder if I won it at the first attempt. I don't know if that's because I'm playing them all by their full actions, their full powers, by having the full cards for all 4 characters, made them stronger, or whether I just took a bit of liberty and with the rules a bit. So yeah, no, won it on the first go. The warbird did get injured and knocked out, unfortunately, about halfway through. Luckily, I did have a lot of allies. When an Oathsworn gets knocked out, you can bring an ally on instead, and you get like the 4 default man-at-arms to begin with. But over the course of the story, I have also built up some more allies. I did bring one on, did a good one actually, did some damage, but unfortunately that one got killed and is now archived and out the game. So anyway, yeah, the warbird did get injured. I did pull an injury for him. I've got another special ability on my free company, which I picked up in a storyline, called True Grit, which basically means when someone gets injured, I can pick 2 cards and decide which one I want. The 2 cards I picked, one was Nightmares, and I couldn't imagine the poor Ursus having nightmares, really. I think he is the nightmare, if you sort of look at him. But the second card, injury card I picked, was a curative card. The curative card is basically, they're cards, you can go to the apothecary in a city, buy these curative injury cards, and they're basically a blank injury card. If you draw that, it's basically, you've got lucky and there was no injury. There's one there. You suffer no injury. So out of the 2 cards, obviously I decided to pick that over the nightmares for the poor Ursus. So yeah, I did that one first time. First one I've done it straight away. First time without having to replay that, which is really good. The whole story has taken a bit of a turn now, and I don't know where we're heading, but it's great fun. Really looking forward to getting to see the witch a bit more as well. I think I'm going to have to sort of look at her cards a bit, really, to try and work out what's the best sort of tactics to use for the witch. But she does look like a really interesting character to play. Apart from that, obviously the iOS app only goes up to chapter 3. I don't know whether I might use this as a break to actually start painting my four characters. I think I need to glue them as well. The penitent's arm is starting to give up a bit now, so I think I do need to glue them together. But yeah, I might spend a few days trying to paint this. It's also getting really hard not doing spoilers as well. I've noticed a few other people online have kind of accidentally given a few spoilers out. So I don't know what I'm going to do going forward, whether I just mark it as be careful, there's spoilers, and give spoilers out. Or perhaps I'd still try to do it without spoilers. The only problem is these videos will probably look very similar. I might get a bit dull. But yeah, really enjoying it. Chapter 3, different pace, slightly different mechanics in the encounter mode as well. Really enjoyed the story. Really enjoyed what you're up against in the encounter. Found it perhaps a bit easier than the previous encounters, but again, perhaps I took a few liberties with some of the new mechanics in that encounter, and perhaps I did things I shouldn't have done, for example. But yeah, really enjoying it, and can't wait to see what's next in chapter 4 as well. Brilliant, excellent. Okay, well I'm off to bed now. It's pretty late. See you there. Bye.